Well, hello and welcome to... I got way too comfortable knowing I had time to work on these outfits, and then time got away from me. 3 months to be exact. And now I have less than 2 weeks to start and finish 2 new Ren Faire outfits. Yay. So, what am I working on? You might be asking. You probably saw some stuff in the thumbnail, but you know, we gotta be introductory here. My idea for the outfits that I would like to wear for the Colorado Ren Faire are going to be inspired by flower fairy outfits, but not just like generic flower fairy look like I always do, which is basically just floral print of some sort, pinks and stuff. I'm going to be making 2 different outfits inspired by 2 different flowers. First flower is going to be the lily of the valley. So in my time procrastinating, I did plan the outfit out a bit and I did design it. As you can see here, I have a sketch of the idea of the outfit that I would like to do. Now, I'm not going to be sticking exactly to this bad boy. This is just to give me an idea. And as much as I would like to make this from scratch,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Like we said, we don't have a lot of time. Like any good thrifty girl, I picked up some stuff. Not thrifted, because again,
time is of the essence, so I need your acquiescence.
2 of the items that we are going to be starting with are a pair of white bloomers, and then we have a white top. And then for the corset, I have this thrifted little lime green. It's a lot darker in person. It looks very, very light on the camera. It's a corset top, but I'm going to be heavily altering this to be more of a corset. It doesn't fit anyways because it's a zipper situation. So I'm going to take the zipper out, probably open it up in the back to add a lace up. And there's going to be some splicing and dicing of this thing. And we are also going to be decorating it with some trim and other little lacy doodads and stuff, as well as these thrifted Lily of the Valley faux plants. I'm not gonna go into detail on what my actual plan is. I'm gonna surprise you because
time is of the essence.
And then as for the dandelion outfit,
A dandelion.
I don't have that sketched out. It's in my noggin, but I do have a plan. But I'll show you guys what I'm working with because since we don't have time to make things from scratch, this is a thrift flip. First, I have 2 different pieces here that are our dandelion flower color. This is a skirt. I would really love to make this either a high-low skirt or a wraparound, like around the waist skirt. And then underneath that, I initially got this dress to have like as a shorter thing. I don't know, like high-low, but it's hard to explain. I have since abandoned that plan. I was gonna use the top. Don't really like the top, how it looks on me. So I'm going to be cutting this off at the waist and turning the mini skirt part into bloomers, into shorts, which I am a novice when it comes to sewing, but it should be fairly easy. I think I have enough fabric. Basically how it's gonna go is yellow bloomer shorts and then an over skirt over the top or a high-low skirt over the top. And then I know this looks weird. It does not look like it'll jive with the colors, but I'm hoping you won't see the inside, which is like blue, but on the outside, I'm gonna take the laces off first of all. And then all of this blue edging, I'm going to cover up with brown fabric paint to make it green and brown. All right, well, let's dive right in. Let's get to crafting before we check out and end up just buying an outfit out of desperation. Yeah, floor projects are 100% the reason for my back problems, and yet I still have not learned. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm removing the side panel thingies so that the corset has a little bit more of a waspy shape to it. And then we are removing the boob cups as well as the straps so that it's more of an underbust corset. I also attempted to match the angle of the cut that I was doing to remove the boob cups, but you'll see later how I fix this because, yeah, I know it looks weird. Don't tell me, I already know this. Next, I just need to remove the side zipper, close that seam up, and then to make it lace up the back, I'm just finding the center back of the corset and marking that so I can cut straight, and then cut that open. And then instead of hemming all of the raw edges that I just created, I'm going to cover them up with all of the trim that I have set aside for decoration. So it's going to be serving 2 different purposes. And then I will be utilizing the straps. I went ahead and opened those up with a seam ripper, and I'm going to be using those as my bias tape for the outer edges where the grommets are going to go. At this point, I decided I was going to paint some Lily of the Valley designs onto the front of the corset. So first I'm using a dark green colored pencil to mark out my design. I did use some reference images from Google. Once the design was how I liked it, I went in with some fabric markers and I went in and reinforced the lines as well as added shading. For the highlights of my leaves, I used acrylic markers. These are specifically for fabric and they are fine tips, so they're really good for adding detail. I got them from Yield Jeff Bezos Amazon. For the highlights, I used a yellowy light green, and then for the midtones, I just used a light-ish green, kind of a neutral green. And then for the shadows, I both used a dark green as well as a kind of teal blue color. The green on green wasn't really popping for me, so I used a white Posca pen to kind of create a halo effect around the flower. This really helped to make the lily of the valley stand out against the green background. And I also added other little highlighting effects, some magical little sparkles. And this is my favorite part. Instead of painting the flowers of the lily of the valley onto the fabric, I used these beads that I found. I had initially bought a big pack of these to make trinkets for my outfit to hand out at the fair, but I also thought that it would look great on the front of the corset to give it kind of a three-dimensional effect. I thrifted this little tablecloth thing a while back at the bins, and I wanted to use the little leafy parts of the lace. So I went ahead and harvested some of the leaves from the tablecloth so that I could add it as little decor pieces. And then here I was just installing some elastic in the legs of the bloomers because initially they had that you had to tie up to keep them up at the height that you wanted, but they kept falling down no matter how much I tightened the lace. 10 out of 10, the elastic was definitely better. So if you get these bloomers, do that modification for sure. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I tried on the top from Boohoo and unfortunately it is way too small. So I tested fate and reordered it in 2 sizes up because I realized that I ordered a US size 6, which theoretically should fit me, but in that brand, it's not gonna happen. I checked the model info and the model's wearing a size 6, and as we know, models are a very particular shape, which I am not. So I went up 2 sizes and I'm hoping it'll work. Testing fate because it's scheduled to arrive the day before we leave. So I don't even know if it's gonna work. So I did, just in case, find a backup top that'll work with the outfit. I still have to try it on. I at least am covered slightly. Other than that, I'm almost finished with the Lily of the Valley outfit. I just have to dye the shorts and we're golden. I would move back further, but there's a dog on the floor right there. But a couple of things that I did not anticipate. This is poking forward. I don't know if I was supposed to add boning to this. Maybe there was supposed to be one in the middle. Probably. I'll probably just like put a little stitch. I'll bring some thread and needle with me and just stitch it to whatever shirt I'm wearing, like right here. Another thing, I realized that the sole purpose for this going up was to have a strap. But since it's strapless, it's kind of pointless and it looks weird. I also didn't put a grommet all the way up and it could be tighter. So I'm considering from here down taking the edge off and just making it straight across because this is a little weird, not gonna lie. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Whoopsie. But other than that, outfit is looking good. Hopefully the Boohoo top comes in time. I just need to dye these shorts to be green so it's not so much white. Then we're made in the shade.
Although I can't help but notice that UFO book on your desk. You're gonna have to get rid of some of these silly hobbies if you want to be taken seriously enough to run this department.
UFOs aren't a hobby as much as they are objects in the sky.
No, I get it. We all got our fancies. I mean, hell, in another life, I could have been one of those Renaissance Faire guys, right? I can't be pulling people over in no suit on armor on no horse. And I damn sure can't write them no ticket with no jousting stick, a turkey leg, and a jug of meat in my hand.
Oh my god.
Wow, that feels really meta right now.
This is just your average fabric dyeing process. I'm not really the person to give you advice on this, so definitely go watch a tutorial if you would like to do this. However, one thing that I did do differently is that I added some yellow acrylic paint to my mixture because last time I used this green dye, it was a bit too blue for my taste and I wanted this to be a little bit more of a yellow green. I did see a video on TikTok about using acrylic paint to stain fabric, so I did know a bit of what I was doing. A bit. I did have my screw up moments.
Next up, we have the dandelion outfit, which I'm hoping to wear on Sunday. Yet again, we're having to pivot, we're having to adjust because I'm a ding dong, and if I was gonna make this outfit from scratch or at least heavily alter the pieces, I should have started on this way in advance, which I didn't. I started planning this way in advance and then I procrastinated, and I have a week and a half and I haven't even started making the bloomers for that particular outfit. I was gonna use the skirt of the dress to make some fluffy bloomers to go underneath the skirt. And I was gonna do something with the skirt, just make it like an overskirt, kind of like in the Lily of the Valley outfit. But listen, like I said, I didn't plan this out very well. I wanted this to be the year of me making outfits from scratch, or at least getting a lot better at sewing and doing things myself. But if I was gonna do that, I should have planned this out better. I should have given myself a lot more time and a lot more room for error. So I'm being adjustable here, and what we're gonna end up doing instead is I'm going to take the existing yellow skirt and we're gonna hike it up in the front to kind of create that high-low effect. There's actually a skirt a lot like this on Amazon, but this is rayon instead of polyester, so it'll be a lot more breathable. I do have some shorts that I can wear underneath to protect my nethers from the weather and peeping eyes. And then I don't really like the way the back of the skirt looks when it's hiked up. I tried different variations and I was very careful with my draping, but it still kind of cups the butt a little bit in a weird way, and it also kind of looks like a saggy diaper. So how we're gonna end up utilizing that dress instead is I'm going to be taking the skirt off of the dress and then using the little ties that are on the side of the long skirt and using that to make a half skirt to cover up the bum, and then I'll just go over the raw edges with some lace trim. As far as the top goes, I already have a top that I can use. It is polyester, but you know, we got to work with what we have since there's not really that much time remaining to either make things or have things delivered. We're already cutting it close with the Boohoo haul, but I'm also going to bring my backup shirt for the Lily of the Valley as well, even if the Lily of the Valley top from Boohoo gets here in time and ends up working. So I'll have options on the day and I'll keep you guys updated. For now, we have some stuff to sew. I have to permanently sew the draping onto the skirt. I have to seam rip that dress, and I'm sorry the AC just kicked on, but we must proceed because it is freaking hot outside. It's like 100 degrees. That's the plan, Stan.
I wanted to paint some dandelions on the corset, however, I didn't anticipate how difficult this fabric was to work with. It didn't really like my fine tip markers very well, so I had to go over the base of my design with some acrylic paint and kind of create an opaque layer to use as my base, kind of to prime it like a canvas. So after that base layer dried and hardened, I was able to go over it with other colors, and I just had to keep going over them, waiting for layers to dry and keep going over it in order to create the detail that I wanted.
So unfortunately, I didn't realize that my camera died last night while I was getting in the zone painting the corset. So here it is. This is what it's looking like. It was very, very difficult to do this because the fabric is very, I don't know how to describe it. I realized that the painting on the, It'll be on the left side of the corset. It's gonna be like very much on the side because it is a layered corset. So I also added some of the dandelion flowers down the front as well as like a little detail. So now I just need to find some laces for it. It took many, many layers, by the way, of brown paint to cover that freaking blue. Sheesh. But I'm pretty much almost done with this outfit. I just have to sew the lace onto the outer skirt situation, and then I'm ready to try this on. Okay. And the outfits are done. I am currently wearing the dandelion one because I couldn't be bothered to change out of the outfit after filming my reveal clips for an outro. So here it is. But actually first I'm gonna show you guys the Lily of the Valley outfit. Because it is our oldest child, we have to give it some recognition, some attention, right? So here is the Lily of the Valley outfit. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I did plan on making the shorts a little bit darker. However, I'm not mad at how it turned out. I kind of like that the lace turned a lighter green than the rest of it. It has a very planty feel to it. I feel like the colors in the silhouette, they flow very nicely. And even though I didn't have a lot of the faux Lily of the Valley plants, I like that it's very subtle. I also love the little beads that I sewed onto the corset instead of painting them on. I really feel like that gave it some three-dimensionalness to it. I also figured out a way to wear my belt bag and my tankard, but not be super like distracting with a belt. So it's still very elegant because I really didn't want to bring a purse. I'm gonna have my camera gear in my hand and I need to be pretty much hands-free. So I need a place to put my phone and my wallet and not have it be in the way, but still be accessible and not have it in someone else's bag where they could like run off and then I have to find them without my phone. And then of course the dandelion outfit. I'm really happy with how this one turned out as well. As I mentioned before, the corset was very hard to paint, but in the end, I feel like it was worth it. I really love how the skirts turned out. It's definitely not exactly what I had in my mind, but I also don't mind it. It's very comfortable, it's very flowy. I also managed to make a headpiece to go with this. I found these little puff thingies at Michael's, and unfortunately, there is a shortage of dandelion flowers out there, meaning there are none. So I ended up making some out of felt to add to this, because I don't even know if these little puff thingies are dandelions technically, like the little puff, but it has the effect, so that's what we were going for. All in all, I feel like it's a very cohesive outfit, and I'm very excited to wear it. Of course, I'll probably be wearing elf ears, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for wings. I think one of my friends said that she has cicada wings that I can borrow, but just in case, I'm gonna bring a couple pairs of wings with me. And yeah, that is the video. And now I got to get to packing because I am very, very much behind. And I kind of started, but I haven't started. There's just a bunch of crap piled in this room. So forgive me if my outro is a little bit rushed. Get out of here. Tune in next time for, all right, bye.